That night, the ballroom glittered like something out of a magazine: crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, designer gowns sparkling under gold light. But beneath the glamour, the air was thick with venom. "Look at her dress," my mother-in-law said, her voice slicing through the microphone like a blade. "Did she get it from the clearance rack at Target?" The laughter that followed felt endless. It rolled over me like a wave of humiliation, each snicker another slap. "I bet she doesn't even have $500 in her bank account." Someone shouted from the back, and the crowd roared again. My husband, Ethan, stood beside me, smiling like this was a normal wedding toast. His father, David Morrison, raised his glass with a smirk that could curdle milk. "Let's be honest," he said. "We all know why she's here. Some girls spread their legs for a meal, this one did it for a meal ticket." The crowd howled, phones lifted, cameras flashing, and me? I stood there, bouquet in hand, my $47.99 clearance rack dress clinging to me like armor, counting silently in my head. 7 minutes. In exactly 7 minutes, the $950 million deal that could save their empire from bankruptcy would collapse, and I would be the one to end it. The phone hidden in my flowers was already set. They laughed louder, unaware that the woman they mocked was about to erase everything they had. But before I tell you what happened when that timer hit 0, you need to understand something. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't random. This was revenge, 3 years in the making. My name is Jasmine Baptiste. And David Morrison killed my father. Picture this: I was 26. Running on fumes, working 3 jobs just to keep my mom's chemo bills paid. Cashier at Target during the day, tutoring kids in the evenings, catering parties on weekends. That's where I met Ethan. It was at a charity gala full of people who'd never lifted anything heavier than a martini glass. I was serving champagne when he grabbed my wrist, not my attention, my wrist, and said, "You're too pretty to be serving drinks." When he offered me $1,000 just to sit and talk for an hour, I said yes. Mom's medicine didn't wait for pride. 1 hour turned into 1 date. 1 date into many. 6 months later, I was meeting his family. That first dinner should have warned me everything I needed to know. His mother, Catherine, looked at me like I'd tracked dirt onto her Persian rug. "So, Jasmine," she said with a thin smile. "Where are you from?" "Atlanta, originally." "No," she pressed, "where are you from?" Ethan said nothing. David chuckled into his wine. When I mentioned working at Target, he actually spit his drink out. "Target? The store?" That night, I overheard them whispering in the kitchen, "A retail worker? A black retail worker? Think about our reputation." At least when he dated that dancer, she was Asian. What they didn't know was that my story didn't start with Ethan, it started 14 years earlier, with blood and betrayal. My father, William Baptiste, didn't just die. He was murdered. Shot by a business partner who stole his company, his work, and his legacy. That partner's name? David Morrison. My dad had created a groundbreaking algorithm, the very one that built Morrison Technologies into a billion-dollar empire. But dead men can't file patents. When I turned 18, my mom finally gave me the police files she'd hidden for years. My father had been called to the office at 11 p.m. Cameras mysteriously malfunctioned. The safe was open with his code. The only thing missing? His blueprints. 6 months later, David Morrison filed a patent using my father's exact formula. The detective on the case told us the truth they couldn't prove: Morrison had an alibi. Dinner with the mayor, receipts, witnesses. But I knew. So I spent 14 years studying, planning, preparing. I learned coding to understand my father's work. I studied Morrison's financial records until I could recite them by heart. And when I got that job at Target near their office, I made sure to learn everything from David's assistant, who shopped there every Tuesday. When Ethan grabbed my wrist at that gala, I recognized him instantly. I knew his lineage, his privilege, his ignorance. I also knew he was my way in. So I became what he wanted, a sweet, struggling girl he could fix. "My mom has cancer," I told him. "True. I'm trying to make ends meet." "True. I just need someone to believe in me." That part was the lie. And Ethan believed every word. The Morrisons hated me from the start. Their insults grew bolder each time. "You people usually have a lot of kids," Catherine said once. "Are you on birth control? Do you have a criminal record? Your neighborhood must be terrifying." Every family event was another round of cruelty. But while they mocked me, I was quietly building something extraordinary: my father's work, reborn. I perfected his algorithm, filed patents under a shell company, and created a system that made Morrison Technologies obsolete. Then, I sold it to Zhang Industries, their biggest rival, for $500 million. Not only that, I became Zhang's senior VP of acquisitions. My first task? Evaluate Morrison Technologies for purchase. The irony was delicious. The company built on my father's death was now begging for salvation, from me, everything that followed was orchestrated. I fed rumors through Catherine's personal shopper that I was obsessed with wedding rings. Catherine panicked, tried to stop Ethan from proposing, which only made him more stubborn. He thought he was rebelling against his parents. In reality, he was walking straight into my trap. The proposal was perfect, public, dramatic, impossible to undo. And I said yes, because the acquisition timeline lined up perfectly with our wedding. Due diligence, negotiations, and final approval, all timed for this very week. Morrison Technologies was dying, desperate for the $950 million Jang was offering. But they had no idea the woman in the clearance rack dress was the one who could make that deal disappear. Catherine micromanaged every detail. "We'll use white orchids," she said. "They'll make your skin look softer. I'll handle your makeup, don't worry, I specialize in refining ethnic features." At the bridal shop, she brought her friends. They circled me like vultures. "You need structure," one said. "Something to minimize certain areas." "Maybe Spanx," another added. "They work miracles on problem bodies." I was a size 6. I smiled through it all. That night, I ordered my own dress, $47.99 from Target, and decided exactly when to wear it. A week before the wedding, David summoned me to his office. He handed me a prenup that was less about money and more about ownership. If I ever worked in tech, they'd own my rights. If I started a company, Ethan would get 75%. If we divorced, I'd owe them $10 million. I signed without hesitation. Because contracts built on lies can't survive the truth, and David Morrison pretending he didn't murder my father was the biggest lie of all. 3 days before the wedding, Jang Industries submitted their $950 million offer. Morrison's board cheered. But one final signature was needed, from me. They didn't know that yet. The morning of the wedding, Catherine stormed into my suite. "Your hair, it's too big. We'll straighten it." The stylist nodded eagerly. "We'll make it sleek, appropriate." "No," I said. "Excuse me?" I said no. "My hair stays natural." Catherine's smile faltered. "Jasmine, don't be difficult. My name is Jasmine Baptiste. My father was William Baptiste. And my hair stays natural." Her face drained of color. She left the room whispering into her phone. "Too late, Catherine. Too late." The ceremony was everything she'd wanted, white, cold, soulless. I walked down the aisle to Wagner, Hitler's favorite composer. The vows were scripted lies. Love, honor, cherish, obey. They'd added obey just for me. "You may kiss the bride." Our last kiss, though he didn't know it yet. The reception began with cocktails and cruelty. Then Catherine took the microphone. "When Ethan first brought Jasmine home," she began, "I'll be honest, we were shocked. She wasn't what we expected. Not our culture, not our class." Nervous laughter from the crowd. "Look at her dress. Did she get it from the clearance rack at Target? I mean, we offered to pay for Ariel dress, but some people just don't know quality when they see it." The room exploded in laughter. "I bet she doesn't even have $500 in her bank account," someone shouted. David stood up, drunk in champagne and cruelty. "Let's be honest, we all know why she's here. Some girls spread their legs for a meal. This one did it for a meal ticket." Ethan laughed. Actually laughed at his own wedding. At his wife. That's when my phone buzzed. Text from Jang's CEO, "Ready when you are." Morrison board is waiting for final approval. I stood up slowly. The room quieted, expecting me to run out crying. Instead, I reached into my bouquet and pulled out my phone. "You're right about the dress," I said into the microphone. "I did get it at Target with my employee discount, $47.99. And you know what? It's worth more than everything you're wearing, Catherine." A few people laughed nervously. "But you're wrong about my bank account." I held up my phone, showing my Jang Industries corporate account balance. $347 million. Dead silence. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? I'm the Senior VP of Acquisitions at Jang Industries. You know, the company that's about to save your pathetic empire." David sobered instantly, his champagne glass slipping from his hand and shattering on the floor. "That's impossible, is it, David? For 3 years, you've been begging Jang to acquire Morrison Technologies. Every email, every desperate plea, it all committed me. I watched his face cycle through emotions. Disbelief, recognition, terror. But you work at Target." Catherine stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "I do, part-time. Keeps me humble, unlike you people who think wealth makes you worthy." Margaret, who'd called me entertainment, was frantically trying to delete her phone recordings. "Too late, sweetheart." Patricia, who'd mocked my problem body, looked like she was about to vomit in her designer dress. Sandra clutched her husband's arm, whispering urgently. "This can't be real. This can't be happening." "The deal?" David gasped, his face now completely white. "The $950 million deal." "Oh, that." It pulled up the contract. The one that needs my signature? The one you leveraged everything for? The one that closes in? I checked my watch. 3 minutes. Ethan's best man leaned over to another groomsman. Dude, is she serious? Is this actually happening? The photographer kept shooting, probably realizing he was capturing the most insane wedding footage of his career. David's brother tried to intervene. Now wait just a minute, young lady. Shut up, Richard. I snapped. You called me the help at Christmas dinner. Sit down before I decide to investigate your tax evasion, too. Please. Ethan grabbed my hand. Jasmine, baby, don't do this. I yanked my hand away. Don't do what? Save the people who mocked my hair, who called me urban, who said I was entertainment. We'll lose everything, Catherine cried. I know. You can't do this. Actually, I can. David, want to tell them about William Baptiste or should I? David's face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. No. William Baptiste, tech genius, created the algorithm that built Morrison Technologies. Ring any bells? Or did you forget the man you murdered 15 years ago? Gasps rippled through the crowd. That's right. David Morrison killed my father and stole his company, and now I am taking it all back. That's slander, David shouted, but his voice cracked. I said? Let me refresh your memory, David. November 15, 2009. You called my father to the office at 11:03 p.m. told him there was an emergency with the servers. The security guard remembers because you specifically asked him to take his break early. David's hands started shaking. The cameras mysteriously malfunctioned between 11:15 and 11:45. Just long enough for someone to enter through the back door, shoot my father twice in the chest, and take the algorithm blueprints from his safe. It wasn't even there, David protested. He was at dinner with Mayor Williams. You were? Until 10:30. The restaurant receipt shows you paid at 10:33. Plenty off time to drive across town and meet Marcus Thompson, the man you hired to kill my father. You can't prove any off this, can't I? Marcus Thompson finally talked 18 months ago. Cancer made him religious. He confessed to shooting William Baptiste on your orders $4.50,000. The crowd was dead silent now. Phones recording everything. He's in witness protection. David has been for a year. Federal prosecutors have his full testimony. The murder weapon with your prints on the money envelope, bank records showing the $50,000 withdrawal, everything. Catherine grabbed David's arm. You said it was a robbery. You said, shut up. David snapped. You lied to me for 15 years. You built our entire life on a murdered man's work. Is it, Catherine? You knew, didn't you? That SWHY you went pale when I said Baptiste. You recognize the name. Catherine's hands shook. I don't. You do. You know exactly who I am. William Baptiste's daughter. The little girl whose father never came home because your husband shot him. 1 minute left on the deal, but Jasmine, Ethan pleaded, I love you. When did you defend me? When your mother called me ghetto. When your father offered me money to disappear, where was your love then? 30 seconds, Catherine fell to her knees. Please, we'll do anything. We'll apologize. McKeet right. Can you bring my father back? Can you undo every racist comment, every moment of humiliation? We're sorry. No, you're scared. There's a difference. 10 seconds. Please, David screamed. 5 seconds. I'm begging you, Ethan cried. 32 when I hit reject. The notification popped up. Morrison Technologies acquisition terminated. David's phone exploded with calls. Board members screaming. Banks calling in loans. The Morrison empire built on my father's bones crumbled in real time. Wait, I said I'm not done. The room froze. Rejecting the deal was just part 1. Part 2 is more fun. I pulled you Panther app. This has been live streaming for the last 10 minutes. Every racist comment, every insult, every moment of hatred, it's all been recorded. Catherine looked at the cameras in horror. You recorded us? Every single word. Jang Industries ISN just walking away. We're shorting Morrison stock. Do you know what that means, David? He collapsed into a chair. It means we're betting against you publicly. Morrison Technologies won't just lose the deal. It'll be worthless. Be market close. You planned this, Catherine whispered. All of it for 3 years. Every insult you threw at me, I wrote down. Every moment you made me feel small, I used as fuel. I started walking toward the exit. Oh, one more thing. That prenup you made me sign, Theon saying I owe you $10 million if we divorce, it's void when signed under false pretenses, like hiding a murder. Ethan's face crumbled. But I don't have anything left. I know. Guess you'll have Vito get a job. I hear Target is hiring. The room exploded in chaos, but I wasn't done. Margaret, you said I was entertainment. You were right. This has been the most entertaining day of my life. Catherine, you spent so much time trying to make me acceptable. You never realized I was never trying to join your family. I was trying to end it. I walked out as the reception hall erupted in screams and the sound of an empire dying. The aftermath was swift and glorious. Within 24 hours, Morrison Technology stock dropped 99%. David was arrested for my father's murder. Catherine was arrested as an accessory. Every Morrison property was seized. The video went viral. 247 million views in 48 hours. David was convicted of first-degree murder. Life without parole. During sentencing, he broke down. I killed William Baptiste. I stole his work. I built everything on Ali. Catherine got 20 years, her last words to me. I hope you're happy. I'm not happy, I replied. But I'm at peace. Today, I run the William Baptiste Foundation, investing in Black-owned tech startups. I still work at Target once a month, not because I need to, but because there's no shame in honest work. The only shame is in stealing, lying, and destroying others to build yourself up. I keep that Target dress framed in me office. Below it, a plaque. This $47.99 dress destroyed $1 billion empire. Never underestimate the power of patience. To everyone who's been mocked, belittled, or underestimated, your day is coming. Document everything. Build insolence. Strike with precision. And when the moment comes, when they re comfortable in their cruelty, confident in their superiority, laughing at your clearance rack dress, crush them. Thesis Jasmine Baptiste. I destroyed an empire in a 47D9 dress. I honored my father with revenge served at my own wedding. I turned their mockery into their memorial. And if I had to do it again, I'd wear an even cheaper dress because revenge doesn't have a price point. If this story hit you where it hurts, drop a comment below, tell me about your own revenge story, or that moment when you realized the people looking down on you were beneath you all along. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready for more stories of justice served cold and revenge served with receipts. Because trust me, I've got plenty more where this came from. And let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? I see viewers from all over the world dealing with the same kinds of people. Let's build a community of people who refuse to stay.